Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I woke up this morning and I knew I wanted to do my makeup for you, but I didn't feel like putting any kind of thought into what I was going to do, particularly when picking my eye makeup. So I decided to let the random number gods handle it for me today. This is the look that I came up with. I'm very, very pleased. I look really super glowy. And also, I more or less only used the random number generator for my eyeshadow palette. I got my coffee. I got a little bit chatty, mostly about makeup, and I hope that you enjoy the video. If you want to see how I got this look, we're getting into it. I have my pretty random app here. I have it set from 0 to 44 because I'm going to be picking my palette first. I understand that that's kind of a stupid number of eyeshadow palettes to have, but it is what it is for the time being. Maybe I'll do a declutter at some point. Maybe not. I kind of like most of what I have. But I do have everything in a spreadsheet, so let's see what I get. And I got 49. Well, that's magic because I set it for 44. Thanks, app. That's cool. Can we try that again? There we go. I don't know what happened there. So this is number 21. No, I don't have lights set up. I don't know what you're talking about. Number 21. What is that? So that number 21 is the Carity Nudes and Roots palette. It really doesn't get much more basic than that, so I could definitely do a pretty easy look with that. So let me go grab that. Here we have my Carity Nudes and Roots palette. It looks pretty loved. This was one of the very first eyeshadow palettes that I purchased. Super neutral color story there. I can definitely do this, but I think I'm also going to want to pop a color. So I'll do this, and then once I do most of my eye look, I'll see if I decide that I also want to do something just a little bit more exciting than this. So just out of curiosity, what do I get if I do a second one? In case I want to do two. Number 8 is my C Color Cosmetics Feverish palette, which is a dupe of Sultry, I think. So that's another really neutral palette. So I guess no matter what, we're just going to keep it pretty neutral. So I'll stick with just the Carity Nudes and Roots for today. So I'll scooch a little bit closer, maybe zoom you in, and we'll see what we figure out. I have already prepped my skin. I have done no primer, but I'm going to do my eyes first just to see how they turn out first. All right, so I'm going to start out with my eyeshadow primer, which is in really good shape. Can you tell? This I also purchased at the same time that I purchased this. I purchased this eyeshadow palette. I probably shouldn't even be using it anymore because now it's like a year and a half old. But I really just want to finish it. This has lasted a really long time. I'm not sure that I love it as an eyeshadow primer, if I'm being terribly honest. I don't know that it does much, but I should probably just get rid of it. But I haven't yet. But that's now applied. So, what are we going to do? It is just neutral palette. I think almost everything in here works relatively nicely with each other. Something interesting, of all of the shades in here, I don't feel like there's a ton of really good transition shades. There's a lot of really nice depth throughout, but there's not like, I feel like there's really only like 1 or 2 shades that work well as a transition shade for me. So I guess I'll just use one of those. So I'm going to go in first, I think, with Mittens, which is this shade here. Just going to take this really big fluffy brush that I got. It's Farrah brushes. I got it probably from a BoxyCharm, definitely from some kind of subscription box. And I'm just going to lay this into my crease, really blow it out. This type of look is like super in my comfort zone. I wish I had just picked something instead of relying on the random number generator. The hilarious part is that since this is the very beginning of the video, I totally could. But I'm not, because this is what I've decided that I was going to do today. And I still don't really want to make decisions. But isn't it funny? Like one of the ways that I'm starting to determine that I might be able to declutter my stash is based upon how excited or not I am when one of these things comes up in my random number generator. Like if I pull something and I'm like, yes, I can't wait to use that. I'm like, all right, cool. So that one's got to stay. Or if someone's number comes up, or if one of the palette numbers comes up, and I'm like, oh, I didn't really want to use that, and that happens continually, it's probably time for me to get rid of it. That's so funny that doesn't look at all that patchy on my, like in my mirror here when I'm using it. Okay, so we did that really warm shade. It's not my favorite, but that's okay. We're going to go in with, I think, Smooth, which is on the total opposite spectrum hard to see. This guy right here. It's kind of like a really deep taupey, maybe clay kind of color. I don't know. I feel like I'm making that up. I've been really interested in cool tones recently. Maybe because I didn't really have any. That's a lie. This is one of the first palettes that I bought, and there's definitely some in here. But almost every palette that I have purchased since September of 2018 has been warm neutrals, pop of blue. 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 And then I realized I didn't need to buy that palette anymore because I already had it. And I like it a lot. They're pretty. I think the contrast between the pop of teal, pop of blue, whatever version of blue we're talking about, I always found that to be really, really pretty to look at, and therefore I wanted to keep buying it. But then I realized I already have it. I don't need to keep buying the same palette over and over again by different companies. It took me far too long to realize that, but I guess that's part of the learning experience. It's one of the reasons why now when I look at a new eyeshadow palette, like I did with the Ultraviolet Urban Decay, I try to figure out, do I have all this already? Do I just want to buy it because it looks nice? It looks pretty? And like a lot of times that is the answer, right? Like, I am attracted to these palettes because they look really pretty, but I don't need to buy every single palette that looks pretty, because at some point, like, I mean, there's differences in formulation, there's differences in performance, certainly, but I don't buy expensive makeup. Like, one affordable teal eyeshadow is frequently very much like another. And honestly, how much of that do I use? How fast am I going to go through it? I don't need 15 iterations of it. At least I'm trying to remind myself that. I want a little more depth before I continue to blend all this. So I'm going to go in with Lilo, which is this deep brown shade right there. And I am just putting this kind of dead center of my crease. I don't know. I'm doing a gradient look today because with a really neutral eyeshadow palette, I feel like that's pretty much all that you do. I can't wait to clean up that edge. I hate the way it's looking right now. I'd rather put my makeup on my own and then just come and talk to you. But also, I really miss watching tutorials on stuff. So there's not a whole lot of that are done. There's not a whole lot of like palette demos. And granted, this is like a super old palette now, so not like this is timely or relevant or anything like that. But someday, someone may be looking, because I know it's still for sale. Someday someone may be looking and be like, you know what? What does one do with the Carity Nudes and Rudes palette? They will never ask that because it's pretty self-explanatory. Pick a bunch of shades and stick them on your face. All right, I'm going to take this brush. What the hell is this? Is this a Farrah brush again? Oh, it's a Luxie. This is a Luxie brush, also from a BoxyCharm subscription box or something. Like most of my brushes at this point are from those. And I'm gonna go into a shimmer color, which is okay. I'm gonna go into which is in a little bit of rough shape. And it's in a little bit of rough shape because I used it with a stipple sponge to give myself 5 o'clock shadow when I was being a boy. I was part of a virtual musical. I was asked to be a guy in a couple scenes, and I really wanted to look like a boy. And I'll see if I can find a picture, because I was pretty proud of the contouring and stuff that I did. But I did end up using this particular shade because it's so it just has such like nice depth to it. I used it to give myself 5 o'clock shadow. I ended up actually not even getting, like, that costume didn't even make it into the show, partially because they wanted full body and I didn't have the ability to do a green screen full body type thing. But also, I think because I ended up not looking like a teenager. I looked like a grown man in the army. I really miss having reason to like do fun, crazy makeup. I should, you know what, maybe I'll see if I can film something fun. I'm not super artistic, so I don't usually think to take my eyeshadow palettes and do really creative eye looks. Like Not Your Average Jess recently did one shadow in a bunch of different interesting placements. And that was really, really cool. And I don't know how I would do that without just copying the placements that she did, because I don't look at my face and think that way. I've done a couple like makeup heavy Halloween costumes, because I'm not really a cosplayer either. I guess I could be, but that's not really the thing that I've gotten into yet. where I was Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy, where I painted most of my body green, and I was really, really happy with how that look came out. I did like a pop art Wonder Woman kind of idea, which I also thought came out really pretty cool. I did this makeup to make me look like a boy, where I contoured my face in such a way so I would look more masculine. And I had to have my husband's, I didn't ask him. My husband was there to supervise to make sure that like my 5 o'clock shadow sat in the right places, and he helped, he's like, oh, I'm a guy and I have 5 o'clock shadow, and I can tell you. I'm like, yes, but I've looked at men and I've seen their 5 o'clock shadow, but whatever. He wanted to be a consultant, so I let him. I don't know if anyone else has this issue. I always have a little bit of like bleedage here. That shape is nicer. This was a makeup wipe. I don't usually like to wear makeup. I don't usually like to use makeup wipes on my face anymore because I don't like that the cleanser or whatever's on it stays on your face. But it's all dried out. So now what I did was I took a little bit of my facial moisturizer and I tapped it around here, and I'm just using this as like a tissue to clean it all up. I think that's where we're gonna land for the time being. Oh no, I didn't do a shimmer. Come on. What are we gonna do? Let's see. Soul. You can't really see that at all. Glitz. Oh, that's nicer. And riches. I think it's gonna be glitz, just for the more contrast. Mario Badescu lavender. I bought this because I thought facial sprays were awesome, and then I discovered that they're kind of just perfumed crap for your face. So now I use it to wet my makeup brushes and pop and foil my eyeshadows more. I'm also so close to that being gone. This is just one of the minis. I got a set of 3. It was like the rose and the green tea and this lavender one. And it was like Black Friday or something, and I bought a set of the 3. And they smell really nice. They feel nice on your skin, but they don't do much. So I decided to stop buying things that don't do much. And I think I might want to put a little bit of a darker glaze, or a little bit of a darker shimmer in that outside corner. So I think I'm going to look at Vera. Vera's right here. I'll swatch it. Just because, why not? I'm here doing my makeup. I got nothing going on. I'm not sure that added anything to my look, but it feels good to have it on there. God, I can't wait to cover up this guy. I don't know if anyone's like this. I have a really bad habit of I get a pimple, and then I squeeze it, and I cause a scab, and then I pick it, and then it never goes away because I won't ever let it. So that's fun. That's what I've done there. I think I'm going to zoom out, do the rest of my face, then when we come back to like finish up the eyes after I have my foundation and all that on, I'll zoom us back in. All right, I'm going to use a little bit of the NYX Angel Veil Primer. I'm just really trying to get rid of this. I also just discovered I have another one. I've been hearing people sing the praises of this online for some time, so I bought one. Then I lost it, like unopened, never got to use it. And then I started to think, maybe I didn't buy it. Maybe I just thought I bought it. And because it was like nowhere to be found. It wasn't in any of my makeup areas. It was just so crazy. And so then I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm losing my mind, and I didn't buy it. So I bought a new one, and that's the one I've been working on. Well, lo and behold, I decided to pull apart my my linen closet. And I've got like a 3-shelf unit of something in there. It's got like all of my like spare like it's got all of my backup skincare and body care and stuff like that in there. And I go to, and I'm having trouble closing those drawers for some reason. Like there's something stuck like behind them. So I get really frustrated. I pull everything out of that closet, and there's a bunch of towels that have gotten back behind that shelving unit. It's not really shelving. That like drawer, that unit of drawers, like cheap plastic things. And so I pull all those out, and then lo and behold, I find my other full Angel Hair Primer. So I now have 2 of them. One of them's nearly complete, but I actually also don't think that I love it. So I'm not going right into it as soon as I'm done this, because I don't really want to. All right, primer's on. That second primer was the Touch and Soul Glassy Primer. I have dry skin. I really prefer for my skin to not look dry, as I guess most people with dry skin do. What is this? This is the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir in Nude Beige. In Nude Beige. This is my, I guess, in-between shade, because I haven't really gotten my full summer tan yet, but I also don't have this in a deeper color, so this works really nicely for me for right now. It's really a bummer. I found this on sale at Walgreens, I guess just under a year ago. It hasn't been used or open for that long, but I did just find it not that long, somewhat recently. And I was like, ooh, I'm always looking for foundations. Let's try this. Because I find that with my dry skin, a lot of stuff doesn't sit on it very nicely. It tends to look dry and chalky and cakey. Look at the glow that I have, and I haven't even put any highlight or anything on. I'm pretty happy with that. I tend to look pretty dry and cakey and chalky really, really easily. And that's a bummer, because even people who want matte skin don't want to look like that. I was reading up reviews, and I was like, oh, this is really nice for dry skin. It's really glowy. And it is. It's beautiful. I love the finish of it. It's medium coverage, which is what I prefer anyway. I don't have a lot, luckily. I'm very fortunate. I don't have a lot to cover up. I purchased it in 2 shades. I just recently finished my lighter shade. And I found out that the reason that it was on sale was because it was being discontinued. So I found it. I fell in love with it. And now I can't even buy it because it's not being sold anymore. And when I bought it on sale, I should have known that that's why they were all on sale, or clearance, or it wasn't on sale. It was on clearance, and I should have been smart enough to know this, but I wasn't. And now I'm disappointed. Thanks, CoverGirl. So I'm putting a lighter shade of the Ulta concealer under my eyes. I'm gonna use a darker one to cover up that spot on my eyebrow, hopefully. If you have both things to conceal with your skin tone concealer, and you're also going to be using something a little bit lighter for your under eye, and you're planning on using the same device or hand or whatever to blend it all out, make sure you do your darker shade first, because lightening things like using a lighter shade will tend to draw more attention to it. So if you have a pimple and you put a lighter foundation on it, it will make it look more obvious. Okay, let's speed through my face stuff. Some people look really beautiful with a really blush heavy look, and I don't feel confident in that literally at all. Not at all do I feel like I look good with really heavy blush. I mean, I feel like this is plenty of blush for me. God, I just don't love a lot of blush. I really want to. I really want that to be a thing that I like. I'm gonna hit pan on this sucker. If it's the I make sure I close it so tight, so that way it doesn't dry out before I, good Lord, so it doesn't dry out before I get a chance to use it. But man, it really, I have strong hands. So it's always a struggle to open it back up. It's like I close it. It's easier to close it than it is for me to open it. We'll do a little bit of this in the inner corner. Try to use this guy up. Not use it up. Hit pan. For lips, I could use that red lipstick again, but I think I just want something neutral today. So I've got this lip liner from Ulta in Bloom. It's really pretty. So I did let's see if I can zoom you in. So I mostly just did the outside of my lips. Maybe I'll overline a little bit. Yeah, that's not terribly overlined. That's not really a look I go for. So I kind of just did the outsides. I'm interested to see what that ends up looking like with this lipstick. This color is called Secret. It is from Makeup Revolution. I got this in a lip advent calendar from Makeup Revolution, and talk about things that I didn't need. And I don't recommend that either. The bullet lips are like a really nice formula. Like they're nice creamy bullet lipsticks. What the hell came in it? There's like a glitter gloss in like a really pretty like red glittery like topper shade that was atrocious and sticky, and it was impossible to get it on there cleanly, and all of the lip liners were horrible. They're like hard as a rock, impossible to like get a really nice blend. I don't know, it was just really disappointing. It didn't cost a lot, but that's not the point. Like I did it because I was like, oh, I want new lip things. And I'm finding that like these Ulta Beauty lip liners are just gorgeous. They are super creamy. They go on really nice. I don't have a ton of shades. I've got a nude, and then I've got like these two kind of rosy, plummy type shades. But I mean, I really like them. I usually like to highlight under my brow a little bit. I'm not going to today because I've got too many kind of stray brow hairs there, and I haven't cleaned it up, and I don't want to draw any more attention to that than I have to. This is the e.l.f. H2O proof eyeliner pen. It was probably $3 to $6. I bought it because I was in a show and I was sweating. I was in Newsies as the oldest, like the oldest newsie I've ever seen in my life. I was 36 at the time, 37 now. And good Lord, I've never worked so hard in a show in my entire life. And I've played Brooke Wyndham twice in Legally Blonde, and have jump roped and sung at the same time. And I've never worked harder than I worked in the show Newsies. That was so much fun to be a part of, though. Oh my God. All the dancing in that show is just pure joy. Why am I talking while I do my eyeliner? No one's going to want to watch that. Some things that you don't notice that you say all the time. You don't notice until you start editing your video. The ones that I edit so many and that's all right out of my videos. It's so silly. That's all right. That was on purpose. Yeah, totally should have done that off camera because I'm really bad at doing this with one hand. I really, really prefer to go. And I know you're not supposed to do that. I know you're not, but I do it anyway. This copper gel eyeliner from Ulta. I went on a tear. I bought a bunch of these things. I like them. That cap made a really satisfying noise for me too. I like it. It's pretty. I sound like my mother when I say stuff like, oh yeah, gee, it looks pretty. Speaking of which, it's Father's Day. I should probably call my dad at some point. He and my mom are down the shore, so I can't like go by and see them. I love how that Essence Lash Princess Mascara. Oh, I forgot to do my lower lash line. Well, I don't usually, so we're not going to do it today. I was going to do it for the camera. I don't know if it's it's probably my application. I just really prefer like this really wide-eyed, bare lower lash line look. And I don't always do the waterline. Oftentimes I will actually just do black eyeliner underneath my eye a little bit, like as thin a line as I can manage, and that's like enough for me. But I've just never been it just on me. It's probably because I don't know how to do it properly. I just don't really love like a real blown out smoky lower lash line. I should play around with it a little bit, get out of my comfort zone. But I think that we are done. All right, so this is the final look. I'm pretty happy with how it came out, despite the fact that I really didn't get to do anything terribly fun. But, you know, everyone needs a good neutral look in their life every once in a while. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye. Except I'm going to dip my brush into the wrong shade because, of course, I am. The light from both of my ring lights is in my eyeballs is freaking me out. I'm also a little bit nervous. Like, I'd rather put my makeup on. Oh, no. That's the wrong shade. Oh no, too much. I knew I was gonna do that. You'd think my mother's a hairdresser that I might have learned to do my hair. Oh, I wish I didn't look like Gidget. Oh, no.